Hi soulmates, you're all welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time of joining us, thank you so much for being here. If you're here to subscribe to the channel, please do click on the red button to subscribe. Give our video a thumbs up as well. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this Circle Palazzo trouser. Okay, and this is the fabric that I'll be using. I'll be making use of 3 yards of this Duchess fabric. I'll begin by showing you how to fold your fabric. You're going to open it up and then fold it into 2. Alright, your folds, you're going to be doing it around your selvage, the area where you measured your 3 yards. Okay, you fold it into 2 and you arrange it properly. After arranging it, you're going to pick from the other end of your fold. And look at how I'm bringing it inward. You're going to bring it inward like this, fold it inward like this, so you create this triangular shape. Alright, you are going to pick, after folding your fabric into 2, you pick from the edge, okay, from the edge, and then you fold it inward like this, creating this triangular shape. Go ahead and arrange it. Make sure everything aligns. After arranging it, I also went ahead to use my pins to hold it down to avoid the fabric from shifting. After this, I'll be marking my crotch extension. This crotch extension is going to be for the back part of the trouser. Okay, after I'm done cutting, I'll remove the back and recut that of the front. This Circle Palazzo trouser, I'm cutting for both the front and the back. Okay, so I have folded for the front and the back together. To achieve the measurement that I use for my back crotch extension, I divided my hip measurements by 10 and I got 4.1. So I went ahead, starting from the top, I went ahead to mark 4 inches. Okay, I marked 4 inches from the top all the way to the hem of my fabric. I'll go on and connect all the points together. Now after this, the next thing is to take my waist measurement. I'm working with a waist measurement of 32 inches. I'll divide that by 4, which will give me 8 inches. Now I'll also go on and add 1 inch to that 8 inches for sewing allowance. Okay, because I'm going to attach pockets to the sides. So I'll go on and mark 9 inches. So position your tape at the point where you are able to get your 9 inches. I'll go on and mark it right there. I have 9 inches at that point. So I'll be marking 9 inches right there. I'll use my ruler to connect the points. After this, the next thing I'll be doing is to measure the length of my trouser. So the length of this palazzo trouser is going to be 42 inches. Alright, but I'm going to be adding extra 2.5 inches for hemming the trouser. I'll also be attaching a 2 inches band, waistband to my palazzo trouser. Okay, so I need to remove that 2 inches from the 44.5. Alright, so there are 2 ways you can do this. You can just place your tape, removing the 2 inches, right? Just place your tape from that 2 inches point at your waist point like this, and then you go on and mark 44.5, or you just minus 2 inches from 44.5, making it 42.5, and then you go on and measure all around. So you can just place your tape like this, minus 2 inches. So at this point now, I'll be marking 42.5. So when I later add my band of 2 inches, I'll end up having 44.5. I hope you understand that. So I place my tape at that waistline and I'll be moving it while I mark the full length of my circle trouser, which is 42.5. That is what I'm marking right now. Okay, I'm marking 42.5. When I attach my band later, I'm going to have the full length, which is 44.5. So I'll go on and mark it all around like this, moving my tape at the waist while I mark the length. If you have watched to this point and you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please do hit on the red button to subscribe, like, and also leave a comment. Okay, so I'll go on and connect all the points that I marked. You can see how I'm going about it. Connect it. So after I'm done connecting, the next thing is to mark out my crotch depth. Now, for you to determine your crotch depth, what I do is that I sit on a hard surface and I place my tape at my waist and I bring it all the way down to that hard surface. So now what I have is 11.5 inches. I'm going to be adding extra 4 inches to this measurement. That's because I want it's a free trouser, so I want it to be very comfortable at that point. So right here what I marked is 14 inches. The band is going to complete the rest, which is to make it 16 inches. You can add from 2.5 inches, guys, okay? Yeah, so anything from 2.5 is okay for you to add to your actual crouch measurement. All right, it's going to make the crouch area comfortable. So now at my crotch point, I went ahead to rule out a straight line. Okay, and then I'll go on and create my crotch curve, just like you see me doing. Just go up a bit from that edge, and then I went on to create the curve around my crotch area. I'll be attaching my zipper to the back part of the circle trouser, so I'll go on and add 1.5 inches around that area all the way down to the curve. Okay, so when sewing, I'll just sew on that other line, and also I'll go on and add my sewing allowance to the waist part. Don't forget to do this. Add your sewing allowance. I used 1/2 inch. I'll go on and cut it out. After cutting, this is what I have. Okay, so the next thing I'll be doing is to separate the front from the back. So I'll just remove one piece and keep aside. The one that I'll be keeping aside will be the back. Alright, so just go ahead and separate it, remove one. I'll go on and arrange this piece back on the table. This is going to serve as my front piece. Now at my crotch extension, I'm going to remove 1 inch. The back crotch extension is usually longer than that of the front. So I'm going to remove 1 inch all the way down to the hem of my circle trouser. After that, I'll go on and cut it out. Okay, I'm cutting out the 1 inch that I removed now. Now, after cutting out this, I'll also reduce. Remember, we had 1.5 inch around the crotch curve, which will serve as zipper allowance. For the back, so for the front, I'm going to remove 1/2 inch. You can remove 1 inch if you want, so you can have either 1 inch or 1/2 inch left for your sewing allowance. Okay, so after doing this, I'm going to go over to the waist part. All right, at the waist point, I'll be coming down by 1 inch, and I'll go ahead and slant it to the side of my trouser like this. Just slant it to the side. Okay, then I'll go on and cut it out. So now the next thing is to open up the sides. Okay, the sides where I'm going to be placing my pockets. I'll split open that of the back as well. Okay, so after I'm done doing this, I'll go on and cut out my pockets. And I have this piece here. It's on fold. I'll mark my pocket opening. I'll be marking 8 inches. 7 inches is going to be my actual pocket opening, and the other 1 inch is going to be used as sewing allowance, 1/2 inch on both sides. So now I'm going to position my hand like this. Okay, I'm okay with the depth that I have, and I'll go on and create this curve. All right, I'll create this shape like this. You can create any shape that you want. So the depth of this shape is around 11 inches. I'll go on and cut it out. Remember, I've already added my sewing allowance of 1/2 inch on both sides. So at the end, my actual pocket opening is going to be 7 inches. After cutting, I went out to cut out another 2 pieces again. So I'll go over to my sewing machine. From the edge, I'll come down by 1 inch on both sides. And from that 1 inch, I'll go on and sew using 1/2 inch all round. And then I'll stop at that 1 inch point that I came down by at the other side. So I'll do same thing for both pockets. Now this is the band that I'll be using on my circle trouser. On fold, this band is 2.5 inches. I'll be using 1/2 inch to attach the band to the circle trouser, and at the end I'll be left with 2 inches. Now I have the front part of my trouser here. This is the front part of the palazzo circle trouser. I'll go over to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew using 1 inch. The 1 inch that I left as my sewing allowance, I'll use it to sew it all around the crotch. I also used 1 inch to sew around my crotch for the back. I left 1/2 inch for ease, okay? All right, so this is the pocket. I'm done sewing it around using 1/2 inch. This is what I have. I'll turn it back to the wrong face. And after sewing my crotch for the front and the back, this is what I have. This is the front and then the back. So now the next thing I'll be doing is to sew it at the sides. I'm going to be joining it at the sides. I'll place the front on the back like this. So I'm going to be sewing my trouser from the waist point, and I'll be stopping at this 2 inches marking that I'm making. I'll use my 1 inch. Remember the 1 inch sewing allowance we added around the waist is what I'll use to sew my trouser, and I'll stop at that 2 inches. From that 2 inches where I stopped, I'll mark 7 inches. This is my pocket opening. From that 7 inches, I'll continue to sew using the 1/2 inch sewing allowance all the way down to the hem. Then I'll go on and use 1/2 inch to sew around my crotch area down to the hem as well. I'm done sewing and this is what I have. Next thing is to attach my pocket. Okay, so remember we already have 7 inches opening on the trouser. Watch carefully how I'm going about this, guys. So now I'm going to pick up my pocket. I'll attach it like this, right face facing each other. You can use your pins to hold it down. Look at how I'm placing this pocket. Open up the pocket and align each side of the pocket to each side of the trouser. Can you see how I'm going about this? It's going to completely cover the opening, okay? Then I'll go over to my sewing machine and I'm going to be sewing at each side. All right, I'm going to be sewing at each side, notch from the top, then you're going to sew it all the way down. When sewing your pockets, make sure your stitch is very close to the, remember that 2 inches point where we stopped, where we came down at the waist? You are going to start your stitch on your pocket very close to that point, and then you sew it down to the 7 inches point where your pocket opening stop. Remember to back stitch. I'm done sewing and you can see how neat the pocket is looking. So this is what my palazzo circle trouser is looking like. This is the fullness. If you want yours to be fuller than this, remember I used 3 yards for this. You can use 4 yards. Some people even use 5 yards. It depends on the volume that you want to achieve. So now I'll go on and open up my zipper allowance so I can place my band. I went ahead to mark the midpoint of my band, and I'll be placing it at the midpoint of the front. Like this, I'll use my pins to hold it all round. Now, after using my pins to hold it all around, I'll go over to my sewing machine and I'm going to use 1/2 inch to sew my band, to attach my band to my palazzo trouser. I'm done attaching my band to my trouser, and this is what I have. Okay. I also have excess, and I'll go on and trim off the excess. After this, the next thing is to attach my zipper. I opened up 9 inches from the waist. That's the length I'll be using to attach my zipper. Okay, so I'm done attaching the zipper, and this is what it's looking like. This is what I have. This is my palazzo, my Circle Palazzo trouser. Thank you guys for staying tuned to this point. Do not forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and you can also share our videos. So see you all in my next video. Bye.